Welcome back to Epochs Across Eras, where we trace the rise and unraveling of the world's great empires. In our journey through the Han Dynasty, we've seen unity, innovation, and imperial strength, but every golden age has a shadow. By the 2nd century CE, the Eastern Han court was rotting from within. Young emperors, domineering relatives, power-hungry eunuchs, and scholar officials all fought for influence. Corruption flourished, trust vanished, the bureaucracy collapsed. Today, we explore the dark corridors of the Han Palace, where whispers toppled ministers and emperors became pawns. This is the story of factionalism, betrayal, and how a dynasty devoured itself from the inside. They began as servants, castrated men appointed to guard the inner palace, but over time they became kingmakers. The eunuchs of the Eastern Han rose from obscurity to dominate emperors, eliminate rivals, and rule the empire from behind the curtain. What allowed these powerless men to wield ultimate power? How did child emperors, vengeful relatives, and intellectual purists all make the problem worse? The answers reveal how internal rot, not foreign invasion, brought the Han Dynasty to the edge of collapse. Let's enter the palace halls and uncover the crisis that shook the very heart of imperial China. Eunuchs had long served in the Han court. Because they couldn't start families or form clans, emperors saw them as safe advisors, men with loyalty but no competing power base. Initially, eunuchs managed the inner palace, guarding consorts, delivering messages, and handling the emperor's personal affairs. But as emperors grew younger and court life grew more secretive, eunuchs began to influence state decisions. They had access, they controlled information, and with time, they learned how to manipulate succession, appointments, and policy. By the reign of Emperor Huan, 146 to 168 CE, eunuchs had become kingmakers, removing ministers, controlling decrees, and selling offices for gold. Many late Han emperors were placed on the throne as children, often too young to rule. Regents and empress dowagers dominated early reigns. But once the emperor matured, he would often resent the officials who raised him. Eunuchs became allies. They offered loyalty and a way to strike back against Confucian officials and relatives. In exchange, they gained unprecedented power. Emperor Huan executed hundreds of scholar officials in a purge led by eunuchs. His successor, Emperor Ling, 168 to 189, relied even more heavily on them, allowing them to auction bureaucratic titles to the highest bidder. Government positions became sources of personal profit. Corruption spread through every level of administration. The Han scholar officials, steeped in Confucian values, were horrified. They saw eunuchs as greedy, immoral, and ignorant of proper ritual. Two major purges, called the Disasters of Partisan Prohibition, occurred in 166 and 169 CE. In each, scholar officials who criticized the eunuchs were arrested, dismissed, or killed. Some fled. Others went underground. The court became a battleground between morality and manipulation, virtue and access. With the scholars silenced, the eunuchs controlled the emperor's ear. But they couldn't govern the empire. Famine, drought, and rebellion erupted in the provinces. The capital drowned in opulence while the countryside suffered. Under Emperor Ling, the state deteriorated rapidly. Eunuchs amassed wealth and built personal armies. Warlords emerged in the provinces. Local officials became feudal lords in all but name. In 184 CE, the Yellow Turban Rebellion erupted, a massive uprising fueled by hunger, inequality, and belief in Taoist salvation. The central government scrambled to respond. The army was underfunded and demoralized. To fight the rebels, the court gave military power to provincial generals like Cao Cao, Dong Chuo, and Liu Bei, men who would soon defy the throne. The emperor's weakness became everyone's opportunity. In 189 CE, Emperor Ling died. His young son Liu Bian took the throne, but the palace factions exploded into chaos. The eunuchs murdered regents. Generals stormed the palace. Dong Zhuo seized control and deposed the emperor, ending effective Han rule. The empire fractured. The fall of the Eastern Han didn't begin with invaders, it began with ambition. Eunuchs rose because emperors needed allies. Officials fell because they refused to compromise. Corruption took root because the system lost balance. The scholar officials had virtue, the eunuchs had access, the generals had force, and none of them could work together. The story of Han's collapse is a lesson in internal decay. When institutions lose integrity, even a mighty empire can fall without a single foreign sword. But Han China wasn't finished yet. In our next episode, we'll explore the eruption of rebellion, starting with the Yellow Turbans and the cries for a new world. Thank you for watching Epochs Across Eras. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Let's keep exploring the past to uncover the stories that shaped our world. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep exploring the epochs that define us all.